Make sure your gasket's over there where it belongs. Get all these bolts started. So just take them down until they touch. I don't go any further. No torque on those. I'm gonna get these bolts down. Remember how much we're fighting these, taking them off?
Mm-hmm.
Still tight in here, but I'll be able to get them down a little further. If you wiggle the bolt around a little bit, it might turn again without fighting it. Take the stress off it might rotate. When it's too hard, you try to get it with your two fingers. Get pretty stiff. That's about it for that one. Well, if we're lucky, our 1/2-inch socket will get in here, but I don't think it will. Nope. Get this wrench well. Try to get nice, long, slow strokes. You go quicker if you do that than you do a bunch of short stop, small ones. That's why I use the open end, not the box. You torque with the box, but you can speed wrench it in with an open end. You just go down until you get close. Don't touch it. Okay, now these ones just spin them down the socket. Okay. I like long extensions so you get up out of the way, so you can spin them. See. You're up high enough you don't hit anything. You go down till you just touch. There. Three little small bolts. Put a little Loctite, you don't need a lot of it in there. So you got fishies into the hole in here, drop them down and rotate them in. Now if the gasket's where it belongs, you won't have to find the hole. If the bolt won't go in the hole, it's probably the gasket's probably slid down. You don't have it in here straight because the gasket's free to float around. That's too much Loctite. That's the hardest one to get to because it's down in the hole. Deep well 7/16 gets in there pretty good. Just go until you touch. And the short one gets into these ones. That's a 1/2 inch, isn't it? Just got to get the right size.
Helps.
I can also use this tool over here because it'll get in there also. If you reverse the action. It's round up though. That hit on. I don't know what the hell that caught on, but it bound up. See, this one's just so big, and this is such a coarse adjustment here, this slot. This one here's a lot less movement, how fine it is, so you can actually do it better. Just enough drag on that bolt that holds the socket, so it makes it a lot easier. Alright, close enough. Okay, you want to push the rocker box all the way that way. Because if you look up in here, the springs will rub on this one over here on that side. Usually there's a lot more room on the back than the front, as I recall. You can't see it, I don't think, from there, but
No.
anyway, the rocker arm's in view, but the spring is up close to that area, so you want to make sure it's up out of that area. That's important. Now this is our torque wrench here. 9/16, 7/16. Where's the half-inch at? Here it is. This is preset for 5/16 bolts, which is what these are. So what I do is I always push the box this way a little bit as I go down. And just go a little bit at a time each way. And we're compressing the lifters right now. Now if you want to make sure these are in there, just pull them a little bit, make sure they're in there like they should be. Right now there's tension on them, so I can't turn them. But before I started torquing, I could have rotated them, made sure they were in where they belonged. I didn't do that, so oh well. Now the other bolts are just touching, so it's pivoting like this. It's trying to lift that corner over there. They can't do that because the bolts are in there already, so now it's just compressing the lifters down. As long as you go a little bit at a time, it goes pretty even. You don't bind up anything. Everything pulls down nice and square like you want. So the box goes Okay, that one's down, that one's down. Once again, I'm not torquing it yet. Where's my box wrench? This is my torque wrench on this side because it's all you can get in there with. Wiring's in the way too. All the way down. Like how it catches on that lip.
Convenient.
It'll be in the way, yeah. Okay. A little torque on those. I'm going to do these ones. So now we torque them. Factory torque, Tatro torque. Slightly different. Let's see, I want the other box wrench. That one. That one. This one's newer, it has tighter. This is 12 points, so they get more looser than 6 points are. Okay, now we're going to do this torque. And about that much is torqued. And that's tight too. Double check. And that's tight. But the switch needs to get up in here before it gets too late. So let's get in there like that. Make sure you get your little washer in there too, nylon plastic washer. Okay, we'll come back later and torque it later. Okay, where's my other wrench at? Okay, these little Allens here, this works really good for those. So this one's going the wrong way, so we go this way. So this is a K-Star, but a different company makes them now. This was the original company back in the 80s. Now they have a new name. That's pretty tight. Remember, you got a lot of leverage on this, so. It's kind of a feel thing. It's torque, believe me. Okay, now we just got what left to do now.
Pardon me?
What do we got left to do now? These ones. So this is long leverage, so it helps. Pretty good bolt torque. I'm going to use a torque wrench. This is set up for torquing. So the big one's probably about 25 foot-pounds or so, 24. This one's probably, they go by inch pounds. This one's probably more like about 17 or something like that. I don't remember, 15, 17 foot-pounds. So you go torque, and see, I already had that one torqued with the other wrench, see. I use this one because you get in here easier. A little quicker if I use a little mini ratchet first. About that much. Now all this hardware is grade 8, that's why you can torque it a lot. And they go in real deep into aluminum, so you get a lot of thread area. That's why you can torque them like that. If you have bolts that are only going about this far, you'll strip the things right out real quick. Or if you use crappy bolts, they'll strip out real quick. So if you look up here in the bolts, they're all grade 8. So they're all 8 hashes here. So that's all, everything's grade 8. All of this stuff is, see. So whenever you replace the hardware, make sure you use correct hardware. Otherwise, all this stuff will come loose and all kinds of problems. Okay, now this we cannot move these yet. So right now you cannot turn this motor over until you can loosen these up. So we have to wait and wait and wait and wait. In the meantime, we can put the middle segment piece in. So we need our seals over here. So, and the other two are over here already. Well, these have new Bellows Washers, we can put those in also. Right there. These are your breather washers for oil control. Okay, which box goes in front, do you think? You mix these all up.
So
This one had the big nick on top. No, that's crap.
I think I did that one. I milled that one.
Yeah, but I don't care which one I
That one. This one was the railing.
It doesn't really matter unless there's a cosmetic issue. Okay, this has a lot of damage to it. So do you want this to be where the air cleaner is here? Or way in the back over here? Which one's easier for you to hide?
In the back.
What's right here on your bike? You got a big tank on this?
Yeah.
So that might be more hidden on the front than the back, maybe?
Yeah.
So that might be better.
Perfect.
Okay, so we'll make this the front one. So like I said, cosmetically, you always look to see what you got to work with. So it looks like crap, but that goes on the other side. So this one looks better. So this goes behind the ignition switch. It looks like crap on both sides. Did you pay extra to make them look that bad? So I think we'll put this on the ignition switch side because this here would go in the front box over here. As you can see on that side, but this one here you can't see because it's behind that ignition switch way over there. So we'll do it like that. And if you also notice, this is how it was before because the seals are in there, but we can change that, it doesn't matter. See, the seals can go over on this side, it doesn't matter. So I always go by cosmetics, not where they actually came from. So these you just pull them out or cut them out. And then you just push in the new ones. Now sometimes it works better to have a little oil on them. More slipperier. Always take them over here and pull on them. Of course you can't pull them with the rubber on, dumbass. You pull on like that. Make sure they're all the way in. So that's in there pretty good now. So that one can go in there like this. And see how your seals are right here. Because this controls the oil flow out your breather.
Mm-hmm.
So it comes in through the top, through the holes over there. It has to go past the umbrella seal to get into the breather hole. That's how it works. And then do this one here. And these are really hard, you just cut them off, but they're soft, you can pull them out. So this one here, we'll do it dry. She doesn't want to go in though, but you go over here and pull on it. That, it's in. Simple. Put it over here. Getting on the O-ring seals. Two different variations of these. We got that version. And we got this version. So see how this has no breather in it?
Mm-hmm.
See how this one does have a breather chamber in it? So this is the one that goes here. Or does it? No, this one does not go there. This one goes on here. See how it doesn't fit? You just flip it over. Now Sportster box are curved like this, and the curves on both sides. They're 100% interchangeable as long as you replace all three pieces at a time. That's how a lot of chopper bikes are. And if these are too tight, you just kind of stretch them a little bit and they'll fit in. So this is your top one, so we don't use this one right now. We're going to use this one. See how this one matches the head? So see how this is cut out? So this side goes in here. Slip it on in there. Make sure it drops in the here in the hole where it belongs. Now you got a couple of tricks that like you can stretch it. You can stretch the O-ring if it needs to be stretched. You can also put grease along the groove, and the grease will hold it down enough to put the cover on it. Now this cover's on the outside. So, and this is the last little bit. See how it's got to come off over this?
Mm-hmm.
Just got to stretch over a little bit. So, see, you stretch in, see how it stays in there. Make sure it didn't pop out on this side. So this O-ring here went in pretty easy. It's not shrunk up yet, so it fits real nice. Sometimes you got to pull them a little bit. So now this can just go right up in there. Don't put nothing on here, just dry. Make sure this is in there where it belongs. Drop it down. Now once you're down, you push down on it. Kind of rub it around a little bit like that. And then if you see any gap in here, then it's not down all the way. So you got a big gap over there. And you push it down, see it sits down. And see if it's hanging up in the air like that, then it's not in. You can also feel it when you do this. You'll feel it not being very flat. This one smooths around pretty good right now. But I can't turn this over, and I'll wait until I turn it over. These little square ones, they go right here in the middle. Right there. Don't forget to put those in there. I'm sure nobody's ever done that.
Right.
They will leak a lot. You'll have a big leak on your exhaust pipe. You'll think your primary's leaking on the other side because the oil just drains down and comes out the other side. It's a mess. And you can't see it. Same thing when you don't have the O-ring up in here, or if the cover's not in the O-ring, you get that same leak. Can't find it. Or if the gaskets that go underneath the box, this gasket leaks. It leaks down the inside, comes down, makes a big mess. You think it's something else. What's that? Not easy to fix either. You got to pull everything apart to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this one's all up in there. Drops right in there. This one I have to pull on just a little bit to find a sweet spot. See, right now it looks like it's in all the way. Maybe it's out just a tick on that side, hard to tell. Okay, I like looking the rocker arms go up and down, make sure it cycles through and no problem. Okay, see how this is turning now?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. And this one's turning also. There you go. This stuff's a little easier. This has a little more tension on it still, but it's turning. This one's a little easier.
Mm-hmm.
And so the push rods are in the holes where they belong. See, right now you can still see up in there. You can see that they're in there, but if you have to cover them, you can't see nothing. So now what I do is I rotate the motor through and make sure everything goes up and down so I can see it. And always like being able to see all the parts, not guess that they're working correctly. Everything went through and no big noises, so it worked pretty good. So if you come over, you can see I turn the wheel. I push that way. I'm holding myself over here, so I have lots of leverage. If you're trying to pull, you don't have any leverage. So you kind of beat it through. Right now we're opening the valves. Pull a little bit at a time, and you push it through, like that. Now you're on your overlap. Now, if we're on our overlap, guess what happens on the other cylinder? We're on top dead center. So you put that in there right now. See how it's coming up. And that's right top dead center. Now that one's ready to put together. And these are on the overlap, so if you look at the valves, they're both open right now. But can you tell they're open?
Nope.
They look like they're closed, but they're open right now because they're equal. But these don't turn. Oh, that one is turning. This one's not turning though. Okay, where's that other cover at? This is the one we're putting over here. So getting these washed in here is going to be fun. I got some other washes we can use too, I forgot. Okay, this goes this direction, see how the curve matches. So this is nice and even here. You go on the other side, look at the other side and see if it's flat also. See how it looks like they're all the way down?
Mm-hmm.
So the O-rings are where they belong. Now we're going to have fun getting the bolt up in there. I'll get you some hardware for doing that also, which I don't have right this minute. So we're going to leave that one at that point for now. Okay, I'm going to go look for some hardware and we'll be back.